Alright, how's it going, guys? It's your boy Roddy back here with another review. And if you're here, you already see what the title is. We're about to get started, but first off, I just want to say thank you to everyone who hopped on the Halloween Ends review recap. I've had so much good traction from that. It got me about 200 views. That's my most watched video on the channel so far. I really want to say I appreciate it to everyone who came through for that and showed love for that. It really does mean the world to me. I got a lot of positive feedback from that video. Actually, no bad feedback from that video, honestly, which really surprised me. I know how people can be. A lot of people are very straightforward with their opinions and things like that, but I really do appreciate everyone who came through for that and showed me love. That means so much. And as of right now, this channel is going to be rebranded into Roddy's Reviews. So I'm going to be changing the names and a few different things on the channel as we go. But right now, you see what the title is. We're getting into it. So we are actually going to talk about Avatar. James Cameron's Avatar, and I'm not talking about The Last Airbender. That movie sucked ass. We're not talking about that movie today, I promise you that. We're talking about Avatar, The Blue People, directed by James Cameron. Came out in 2009, I believe. And what's crazy is I have never seen this movie until about 2 hours ago. I've never seen this movie at all. I never gave it a chance, really. A movie about blue people, I wasn't going for it. If I'm being completely honest with you guys, I wasn't going for it. But I did see the second one came out, I believe, last month. And it got greenlit for like 3 more sequels. So I'm like, bro, why is this movie getting so much traction? And it is still being branded as, I think, the highest grossing movie of all time, or one of the highest grossing movies of all time. So I'm just like, let's see what this movie's about. So I'm going into it with I know a little bit about it, not a lot, but I don't know the story. I don't know the characters. I don't know none of that. And I don't even remember a lot of the characters because there were so many characters in this movie. I don't remember a lot of them, honestly. But I'm going to give you guys my a quick recap real quick of it. And then I'm going to try to capture everything I can off the top of my head because I just got done watching it. I'm going to try to do a recap of this. And then I'm going to go into my review and show you guys how I feel about it. Same thing as Halloween Ends. And we're going to get started. So the movie starts off, it's in the future. I think the year is 2154, and we have this guy, Jake Sully, and he is actually taking his brother's place. His brother was actually robbed and killed. He is taking his brother's place on this trip to a different planet called Pandora. Pandora is this planet that is actually housed by a race known as the Na'vi, N-A-V-I, Na'vi. And it is an extraterrestrial kind of race that humans pretty much want to see what they're doing, and they kind of want to take over the planet. You know how humans are in most of these movies, bro. Humans are pieces of shit, and everyone knows a really bad person. That really bad person, would be one of those people trying to take over this planet. And keep that in mind. But pretty much, they're trying to take over this planet, and they're like, how are we going to do this? So Jake is taking his brother's place. His brother was this guy going for his PhD. He's been studying for this trip for so long, for years, and he unfortunately was robbed and killed. But Jake's taking his place. Jake is actually a former Marine. He actually cannot walk. His legs aren't working. I don't think they got into that much about what happened, unless I missed it. If you've seen the movie enough and I missed it, please tell me what happened, because I don't know what happened. I don't think they got into it. But pretty much, he takes his place. They're going there, and the way it works is that humans have taken Na'vi DNA and they have fused it with human DNA to create this genetically made Na'vi, something that looks very much like what they actually are. And they are calling them their avatars. So pretty much what they're doing is they're getting inside this capsule, and they're taking the consciousness of their mind and transferring it to the Na'vi for a small amount of time. Well, I don't know if it's a small amount of time, but I think it's till whenever the host decides he wants to wake up, I believe. Like if he goes to sleep in the avatar body, he'll wake up in his real body, kind of thing. So, and he gets into the body, he starts moving around, and he realizes that it's amazing, for a guy that can't walk, he's starting to walk again. So automatically, that's a W, you know what I'm saying? That's a W for him. He's going to love that regardless. So he starts learning more about the Na'vi, learning more about the island and where they are, what's going on. The military is there. A lot of the Army, Navy, Marines, they are housing a lot of that. It is I think it is government funded to some degree. So after he gets in the body, he starts moving around on the island and stuff like that, and he comes down and he comes against this creature. The creature's kind of moving towards him. It kind of looks like an elephant mixed with a hammerhead. A hammerhead shark mixed with an elephant. For real, if you've seen it, you know what I'm talking about. Bro's like this big. But anyways, you have to see the movie, you know what I'm talking about. That's my dog. Please disregard that. But pretty much Okay, thought I heard something. Pretty much, so he encounters this creature, and what's going on is that they're kind of having this little stare down, and Grace, which is one of one of the leaders of the whole program, is telling him like, "Hey, don't engage him. He will attack you and kill you." He's like, "All right, cool." He's like, "I ain't gonna run or nothing like that." So they're having a little stare down, and he backs off. But notice there's another creature right behind him. It looks like a big ass Black Panther, and it's like looking at him, and like it jumps at him. So, and of course, Jake runs. He takes off. And he's just going and going. This creature's not stop chasing him. So he jumps off the edge of the cliff, falls into the water, falls into the water. He gets away, but he is taken away from the rest of the group. So everyone's like, "Oh my God, how are we going to get him back?" Well, now it's nighttime. They can't find him. So of course he's out there on his own. But he's a former Marine, so he knows how to survive. Obviously, you know what I'm saying. I'm sorry. This is my dog. I don't know why he always seems to do this when I'm recording, and I don't know why. Bro always seems to want to come in here and eat, drink, or do some type of movement when I'm recording. Go lay down, Benny. Go lay down. Go lay down. Yeah, go lay down. Thank you. Appreciate it. Anyways, he did get separated from the rest of the group, and so pretty much he's a former Marine. He's out there surviving on his own. All the survival instincts are coming in handy for him. It's working out really, really well until he does encounter another group of creatures that obviously he's trying to fight off, but it's not working out so well. And that is actually where he meets Neytiri. I hope I said her name right. If I didn't say her name right, someone correct me in the comments, please. In the comments or whatever, please tell me I was wrong on that name. But he encounters another person of the Na'vi race, and she saves him. And unbeknownst to him, he doesn't know. They kind of bond a little bit, and she takes him back to the tribe. And the tribe decides, the king and the queen, who happen to be Neytiri's mother and father, they decide that they are going to go ahead and actually take him in and teach him the ways of the Na'vi, which is really interesting. So at that point, they go ahead and go to sleep. Well, Jake wakes up and he tells everyone what's happened. He says, "I'm okay. I'm good. The Avatar is good. This is pretty much what happened. They saved me. They're going to teach me their ways." And the military sees it as a way for, okay, well, we can actually use the knowledge that you're going to give us and have a one-up on the Na'vi. So that way, when we go to tear all this shit down and take over the planet, we're good. We're good to go. You know, we know how they think, we know how they work, we know what their reinforcements are going to be like. So the military pretty much put him on this kind of 3-month, not interrogation, but like kind of like a undercover kind of situation. So for 3 months, he is learning the ways of the Na'vi. He's learning how they move, how they do everything, all their traditions, how they fight, eat, sleep, defend themselves, everything. He's learning every single thing about the way they work. All right, so I had to stop recording for a minute. Something happened with my camera. I'm not sure what happened, but so pretty much he is learning all the ways of the Na'vi, and he's in this kind of undercover situation for the next 3 months. So as it's going, he's actually starting to garner feelings for the Na'vi, and especially for the one he was working with, Neytiri, the one who was training him and showing him all the ways of the world and how they live. He's slowly becoming immersed in this kind of life. And Grace, who is actually another person that was with him that I mentioned earlier, she is coming along with him, learning a little bit of the ways that they do things, because she's very much interested as well. She's not interested as far as the military aspect of it. She's more interested on the lifestyle and the research and the science of it all. So she actually gives a fuck, pretty much. And as the movie progresses, they decide that, okay, well, the general sees that Jake is compromised in a way. He's like, okay, well, if that's the case, then we need to go ahead and just take you off the mission. Mission's over. I already got all the information I needed. I'm going to tear this down. You're done. You're good. And one thing I forgot to mention is that the general actually made a deal with Jake to get him spinal surgery to let him walk again. So in Jake's situation, it's like, why wouldn't I go do this? I can get my legs back and have my life back. Why wouldn't I go do this? But he's slowly realizing that what's going on is not the best situation at hand right now. So he decides not to go through with it. Well, as the movie keeps progressing and they go to for the final day, Jake decides, I'm not going to do this. I refuse to sit here and screw these people over. So he starts telling them about what's going on. But before he could even do that, him and Neytiri have this bonding kind of thing. Pretty much a thing where like They pretty much took him in and they made him a man, and he is now part of the people. That's what they call their tribe, the people. He's now one of them now. Well, the way it works there is, I believe, after a man goes through that situation, he must choose a woman to partner with and connect with and mate with. And he chose her, even though she was slated to actually marry someone else because of royalty. But, of course, that didn't happen because, life lesson, you love who you love. Remember that. Pretty much, they connect, they get together, and, they're a thing now. So they're in the middle of the forest, they're sleeping, they're chilling, they had a little, a little something, like, something. We're all adults here. They're in the middle of the forest, and all of a sudden a bulldozer just start coming through, just ripping down everything in the forest, tearing everything down, and she's trying to wake him up, and Jake is actually not in the avatar. Like, his consciousness isn't in the actual avatar. He's still in his human state. So she's trying to wake him up, she can't get him up, and finally he rushes back to the pod, gets in and realizes what's going on, and he's trying to stop it. Well, the military decides to take a picture of his face and realize that he's trying to stop it, and military pretty much decided he went rogue. They decided he went rogue. So what did they do? They went and kidnapped Jake. Pulled him out of the pod, they pulled Grace out of the pod. Both of them get pulled out, and they both are pretty much locked up for pretty much turning on the military. They're locked up, their avatar bodies are just kind of laying there. And during all that, Jake wasn't actually able to get out what he was trying to get out in that time frame. So after all that, they're locked up, and they actually made a plan to get out. So they actually had a way of getting out. I don't want to go too much into it because this is actually a really pretty lengthy movie. If you haven't seen it, I'll recommend go watching it because I'm giving you guys a really shorter version of it just for YouTube purposes. So they did get out of out of the holding cell that they were in with the help of some friends they had on the inside. They were able to get out, and they did make it back to their pods to get back to their avatar states. And pretty much Jake decided to tell the Na'vi what was going on. Like, hey, look, this was a covert mission. I was sent here to uncover all you guys. I was sent here to learn about your ways, and they were going to use that as an advantage for them to do this to you. And pretty much they're like, yo, you knew this was going to happen to us? And he pretty much lost Neytiri. He lost the respect of the tribe off that, lost so much. And before emotions could even really get high, the military started just ripping everything down more. They kept just firing and firing off. Like, they have planes in the air, helicopters in the air. They're shooting things down with guns, gas grenades. They're setting things on fire. They knocked over their big tree. I think they called it the home tree. They knocked over their big tree, which pretty much housed all their people. And it's getting really emotional at this point. And throughout all of that stuff, Neytiri's father unfortunately dies out of all that, which makes her, pretty sure that makes her like queen in a way. Pretty sure that makes her queen. So out of all that, they decide to regroup, and they're back, just waiting on them. They're back. They're trying to figure out what they're going to do. And out of all that, I believe during their escape for Jake and Grace, somehow out of all that, because when they were escaping, the military scene, they were trying to get away, and of course they're shooting because you're trying to stop them from getting away, things like that. And unfortunately, Grace does get shot. It sucks. I really liked Grace as a character. She was an awesome character. She unfortunately gets shot, and Jake went back to his avatar state because he's asking for help. He's like, I really need you guys' help to save my friend. Please help me. And they're trying to save her. They have her under this tree they called the Tree of Souls, I think. And they have her there, and they're kind of just trying to see if they could pass Grace's consciousness from her human body into her avatar body, but that did not happen. They said her injuries were a little too advanced for her for the consciousness to be transferred in time. So Grace did die. That really sucks because, like I said, I like Grace. She was an awesome character. She actually gave a damn about what was going on, and it's really unfortunate to see that happen. It really sucks. So after all that, Jake decides, he's like, nah, this is wrong. I got to do something about this. So he pretty much rises up with the people, and they all decide together that they're going to fight. So they literally start going all over the place, recruiting more and more people, from more Na'vi to more animals around there and all kinds of people. And they decide to take the fight to them. So the next day, when the military comes and tries to finish the job, the Na'vi, Jake, and all their people are ready. So a huge fight breaks out. This is like a 35, 40-minute fight, like at least. It's like all-out war kind of thing. It was a really, really intense fight. And at the very end of it, a lot of the Na'vi were lost in that situation. A lot of them did die in that fight. But actually not unfortunately. Fortunately, they did win. They were able to win, and trying to remember because this is a lot. Like, if you guys can't tell, this is a lot. This was a pretty long movie in my opinion. This is a pretty long movie, but it was enjoyable. I'm gonna keep going. Jake and I can't say her name. Neytiri. I really hope I'm saying her name right because I'm gonna be mad if I'm pronouncing her name wrong, bro. I think I've pronounced her name like 4 or 5 different ways so far. Jake and Neytiri, they do win, of course. They do kill the general. He's inside this big robot thing. Dude kind of like a generic Iron Man in a way. Or it looks like Rhino from Amazing Spider-Man 2, if you've seen that. You know what I'm talking about. He kind of looks like that, like his big exosuit. And they do fight him. They do kill him. And Jake is saved after all that. So they all retreat back to the base. They have kicked all the humans off the planet. They're sending them back to where the hell they came from. Some of them stayed back. Some of them did not. There was only 2 or 3 of them that I believe stayed back to help out with the Na'vi and rebuilding and things like that. And at the very end of the movie, Jake decides he wants to get transferred from his human state to his own avatar state. So he is now officially a part of the Na'vi, 100% now. That's how the movie ends. You know, it was a really quick wrap up. I didn't want to get too much into it because, like I said, it is a really long movie, but I feel like it's a movie that you have to really watch in order to understand what I'm talking about and really see where it's going. So you'll get a better visual of that if you actually decide to watch the movie. It's about a little over 2.5 hours. It's a little bit of a lengthy movie, but most movies nowadays are 2 hours. Give it another 30 minutes, you'll get through it. So that was a quick little recap for you guys. The review of this is that I went into this not knowing what to expect, and I actually loved it. I loved the movie. The cinematography of the movie was beautiful. There was parts of the beginning with the forest with it was kind of like a neon light. The way the camera angles were, the lighting, everything was honestly perfect. I think it won. An Oscar for best cinematography, I think, or best visuals. One of those two, maybe both of them, honestly. But it was honestly a beautiful movie. It was an amazing movie. The story wasn't basic. The story was pretty nice. I liked how advanced it was, and I believe James Cameron actually was working on this movie since like 2004. He was working on this movie since 2004. Didn't get it out till 2009. Actually, it might have been even before that. Actually, I think he started like back in the 90s, and dude didn't get it out till 2009. So it worked out for him because it's like one of the highest grossing movies of all time. It's an amazing movie. It's a beautiful movie. I really do recommend, if you have not seen it, go ahead and go see it because it's honestly unexplainable. You know what I'm saying? It's something that can only be explained if you see it. And I know that the second one came out last month, The Way of the Water, I think is what it's called. I'm definitely going to go see that soon because now I definitely want to know what happens next. But I will say, 5 movies. Come on, man. You could have left it at the 1 if I'm being real with you. You could have left it at the 1. But regardless, it was an amazing movie. I loved every minute of it. I do recommend it highly. I know it is. I don't think it's streaming nowhere. You might have to buy it. I bought it on Vudu. That's just me personally. I love collecting movies. That's just who I am as a person. I love movies, if you guys can't tell. This was my Avatar review recap kind of thing. I know this was a little bit all over the place, honestly. A little bit more choppy than some of my last ones. But I did the best I could. Like I said, I just watched it one time, and I'm rattling everything off the top of my head, give you guys the gist of most of it. Like I said, if you have not seen it, definitely go see it. Go rent it anywhere. Go to like a used movie shop or something like that. Maybe you could buy it on sale for like $9 or something like that, because it is definitely worth the watch. But regardless of all of that, that's my review. Avatar. Go see it. Amazing movie. I would give it 9.5 out of 10. That's simple. 9.5 out of 10. I loved it. Everything from the acting, the visuals, the camera angles, the way it was shot, the dialogue. The Na'vi had their own kind of language. You could tell that a lot of time really went into making this movie, and I 100% appreciate that. For someone who appreciates movies like I do, I appreciate that very much. So it was really, really amazing. 9.5 out of 10. You guys should go see it. Avatar 2, The Way of the Water, is out right now. I would recommend going to see that after you see the first one, of course. And this has been my review. If you guys have any suggestions you guys want me to see, anything maybe I've already seen you want to hear me talk about, definitely drop that down in the comments. Like, share, subscribe, hit that notification bell just so you guys know when the next video is coming out. You'll get a notification on your device. And that's all I got right now. Thank you guys so much for coming back to Roddy's Reviews. I appreciate it. And I'm out of here. Deuces.